Hey everybody, Alex from healthhacksreview.com. This is a review video educational series on whole body vibration machines. So if you don't know anything about these types of equipment, there is definitely some real efficacy to them. Certainly, a lot of people have been thrown off thinking there's not some efficacy to them because the truth of the situation is, like a lot of product categories, they have been saturated with a lot of equipment from cheap manufacturers overseas, and those equipment generally are produced with specifications, about 95% of them, that are not directly correlated with the types of efficacy we've seen in the studies that have been published and performed with vibration machines in years past. So that's basically the conclusion. So really, only a very small percentage, maybe 5% of brands out there are worth actually considering and are actually going to give you the types of significant results that, again, we see with studies. What am I talking about? I'm talking about that 3 Chinese manufacturers make about 90% of the machines. There's a lot of importation companies that are rebranding those machines, just labeling them whatever they want to label them, even though they're the same old that the next guy is selling, the next company is selling. And then, with the exception of these few top tier 1 brands, as I call them, they've actually invested a lot of money in R&D and created actual health equipment, really, when you look at it. And so those machines are what I kind of guide people to figure out of those machines, which one's going to be the best one, basically. Whether you're a health practitioner, you're going to put it in a clinic or center, or you're just your at-home user. And so that's where I put my expertise, and spend a lot of time just helping people figure out, okay, what not to buy. Because again, 90+% of the machines out there are the same old pieces of junk that are overpriced and are not really going to do what you expect, unfortunately. It's very similar to the infrared sauna industry, actually. And so if you have any questions about, the machines that are tier 1 that I recommend, that I think are good, I do some of those review videos, as you've seen, based on brands. So please do watch those. Also, fill out an email response form. Let me know what your health goals are, okay? Also, if you have any current health conditions, be good information. So always try to be specific. If you have any questions, be a great place to put those as well. And also some good times to reach you. And that would be also very helpful, so that we can set appointment times, because I won't really play phone tag with anybody. My time's pretty important, as is yours. And of course, I'm very busy, because this is a very confusing product category, as well as these other ones out there. And a lot of people need help, okay? So the bottom line conclusion is the machines do work. There's plenty of studies, plenty of science, biomechanical studies, I mean, you name it, okay, on vertical machines and pivotal machines. That's 2 different ways the platforms move. And understanding frequency and how that affects contractions in the body, as well as acceleration force, g-force, coming off of the plate, also having physiological changes in the body. There's been plenty of equipment, even old school equipment, a couple decades old, that's able to measure enough that we've used in other exercise science and other sorts of health equipment out there, exercise equipment, that have been easily translatable to studying these types of machines. And by the way, these machines got started with the European Space Agency, trying to investigate ways to basically help with astronauts who are in 0G or very light gravity, who are going to, of course, go through a lot of unhealthy changes due to not being in Earth's gravity, bone density changes, lymphatic issues, muscle strength. So there was a lot of really serious research and a lot of money invested in finding and exploring and creating this type of technology and equipment that could potentially used for astronauts. It's kind of how it all started. So it really started with some pretty serious science behind it. And at that point, the next key then is finding that either that equipment that was used then, or keeping the results of the requirements for a machine, performance requirements, that is aligned with the studies, and using that as a purchase criteria and analysis criteria. Unfortunately, 90+% of the machines out there, the specifications that we would use to at least easily analyze what might be a good machine, what might not, what might suit our needs, what if one's overpriced. Those specifications a lot of time are false, and I believe that's intentional by these companies to justify huge margins and a gross markup. A lot of machines that cost 50 bucks, a few $100s to make are being sold for multi-thousands. Is just the truth. And then because of pricing them higher, they want it to appear in the consumer's mind that that price point, that the machine might be similar to another machine priced similarly, when in fact the other one that's priced similarly, that price is much more justified. There's a lot of research and development, engineering, better graded components, all sorts of stuff invested in that other machine. So it can be very confusing as a consumer. And there's a lot of games, a lot of unsubstantiated content out there on websites, a lot of false review sites that are just designed to promote certain brands, which again are not what they appear to be. And there's also machines that are out there producing different types of features and aspects that really may have no efficacy at all. They're just unique features to that unique brand they may have invested and paid for, right? But at the end of the day, does it have efficacy? Or is it just a feature? Do you know what I mean? That is just convenient, or again, is about product differentiation. So there's a lot of misinformation out there, especially in the online space. We can cut through it very quickly together. And so whether you've done a lot of research or you haven't, again, put any of your conclusions, any of your confusions, your questions in the email message and response form. And that way our call together can be very productive. We can get right down to a few different options that really make sense to consider. But I'm always there as a second opinion if you need any assistance. As always, I always make a general policy as well to offer the best pricing out there. If for some, I would kind of just want to be the one place that a person can go and not have to go through all the process of going around and trying to find the best price and just all this kind of business. Just make it nice and easy for everybody. So yeah, if you find great prices out there or something that's better than retail pricing, etc., just show me. Just send an email to me with that. That's fine, and I'll be happy to provide the best price. But thanks for watching. If you have any more questions about this product category and how it can help you, I'm here for you. Thanks.